Hey everyone, it's Kelsey. This is Essentially Book. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. We're here for another day of Bookmas or Vlogmas, whichever you want to call it. And today I'm going to look at all the series that I've started in the past few years. I've been on Goodreads since like 2011, so I'm just gonna kind of go through and look and see all the series that I've started, see which ones I need to finish still is kind of what I want this video to be. I've seen a lot of people do these videos and I really like watching them, but I've never done it for myself. So I honestly don't know how many series I've started or what it even looks like at this point. So we are going to go through this and just see where we're at. In 2023, I read the 17th book of the Louise Penny Inspector Gamache series. I still have one more book to be current, and there will be a new one coming out in 2024 from my understanding. So that is one series I do need to continue on, and I will. I love those. The Throne of Glass series, I've read the first two books. I'm in the middle of the Assassin's Blade. So that's a series I obviously want to continue on with. And then Crescent City will be a current ongoing series with the newest book coming out. I will be reading that. The Imperium series, Iron Flame just came out. I read that. So we'll be continuing on with that series, even though I didn't love Iron Flame. Obviously the ACOTAR series, if any new books come out, that would be something I would continue on with. I have a few romance series that I'm not really going to talk about per se, but the What the Heck series by Jessica Clare, I will continue to read books in that universe, as well as April Asher's series. I don't remember what that is called. And then also Sarah Hawley has a series, A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. I think the newest book is coming out here soon. Divine Rivals came out this year. I read it. I have Ruthless Vows to continue. I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder this year because a lot of people really loved it, and it's like a TikTok, Bookstagram, BookTube darling. I didn't love it, so I will not be continuing on in that series. And I think that is all for 2023. So as far as 2022, I read the Saga series, which is a graphic novel series. I will not be continuing on in that. I've read like 8 books, kind of got the point. I'm done. It kind of stressed me out, if I'm being really honest. Erin Sterling has her Kiss Curse series, the X Hex. So whatever comes out in that series next, I will be reading, as well as Small Town Big Magic by Hazel Beck. I loved the first 2 books. We'll continue on with whatever books come next. Elizabeth Strout has a series where they're books that are not necessarily a series, but they're all connected. So My Name is Lucy Barton is the first one. There is another Lucy book, maybe 2, but there's a few other books in that I would like to continue on with. Same goes for Wendell Berry, his Port Williams membership series. I have read Hannah Coulter. There's like 9 or 10 of them in this universe. I would like to read Jayber Crow, and I think I have Nathan Coulter. I might have a few others in that universe, but that's one I would like to continue with. I do have Sarah McLean's Hell's Bells series. The 4th book will be coming out this year. I'm current so far. When that comes out, that will be like an anticipated release for the summer. I think it's coming out in August. Her books usually come out in July or August. I need to finish the Bridgerton series. I've read like the first 5. I read them in law school, and it's what like got me back into romance reading, and then that's how I discovered Sarah McLean. So I need to read, I think, books 7 and 8. I know it's like Francesca and I think Gregory's books. I haven't read those yet. That is all for 2022. In 2021, I did read a few series that I would like to continue on. It's just a matter of so many books, so little time. The Furyborn trilogy by Claire Legrand. I really love that first book. It's about like fallen angels and royalty, and there's a game component. So there's 3 books in that series. I would need to revisit the first one and to like remember what even happened, but I do think I'd like to revisit that. And then Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I've read the first one, but I haven't read anything else in that universe, and I really want to watch the TV show. So that would be a good incentive to read those books. I read Amari and the Night Brothers, and I really, really liked it, but I don't know if I would continue on. It's middle grade, so it's not like super hard to read. That would just be one that if I wanted to pick it up again, I could do that in the future. Right now, I don't have any drive to do so. Tommy Adeyemi wrote Children of Blood and Bone, and she has Children of Virtue and Vengeance, which is the second one. I read those in 2021. The 3rd book, I think, is coming out this year, finally. Like, that's been one of my most anticipated trilogies. I loved the first 2, so I'm very excited for that series to come out. and be completed. Okay, so now we're on 2020, and it is kind of fun to go back and see like what I read during 2020, because 2020 was like a huge reading year for a lot of people. And it's the year I discovered ACOTAR, and I read Claire Lombardo's The Most Fun We Ever Had, which is one of my favorite books. This Is How It Always Is by Lori Frankel, like so many good books. But I don't think there's really many series that I read or started. Oh, Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. I would love to continue on in that series. I've only read the first one. I think there's like 7, but they're all novella lengths. That would be a good one to pick up. Ooh, I do need to finish up Deanna Raybourn's Veronica Speedwell series. I've read, I want to say, the first 5. So I would definitely love to finish that story. Veronica and Stoker are like the best. It's a slow burn romance through a few books, and you're just like waiting for them, and they finally do, and it's still just so witty, and like Veronica is such a free spirit. Oh, it's such a fun series. Loved that series. Lisa Kleypas needs to come out with more books. She's one of my go-to historical romance authors, but she hasn't had any books come out in a few years. As does Tessa Dare. We are still waiting for her like latest in her series. I wonder what is happening with that, because it's been a long time, like a really long time for a historical romance. Usually they come out like yearly if there's a series, but this 4th book we've been waiting on for 5+ years, I think. Like it's been a long time. So that's all for 2020. 2019, I read a bunch of Jenny Colgan. She has a lot of series that they're not ones that I would be looking to complete, but if I was in the mood for Jenny Colgan, I would pick up her books. The Practical Magic series, I still have 2 books. I do need to read those. That's very typical. I talk about that in about every video, it feels like. Nora Roberts, her backlist I could always explore. The River by Peter Heller, I really, really liked, and I really like Peter Heller's writing. So I know there's a new book that's a follow-up to The River that I would like to continue on with. Ooh, Sarah Addison Allen's Garden Spells. I think it's a duology. Maybe there's 3 books. That's a series I would like to continue on with. 2018. Crazy Rich Asian series. I've only read the first one. And with the Crazy Rich Asian series, that's again one that like if I happen to just pick it up, I'll pick it up, but I'm not feeling really drawn to it. It is really, really fun. I do want to read The Summer I Turned Pretty because I've been obsessed with the TV series and would like to read the books too. I'm team Conrad for what it's worth. The Bear and the Nightingale series is one I need to reread the first book, but I want to read the other 2 books in that series. So that would be a really fun one for winter, just because that's kind of the setting of that series. So that's another series I would like to return to. Now we're on 2017. This is right the year I got out of law school. Well, the year after I got out of law school. And I discovered Louise Penny that year. And I don't think I read much in any sort of series that year because, well, Beartown. Okay, I loved Beartown so much. I love Frederick Backman. I've read almost everything of his books except for the Beartown series because I love Beartown so much, but it's a book I need to reread and then pick up the 2nd and the 3rd books. That would be a really good goal, honestly, for me in 2024 because I do want to read those. I know I've heard wonderful things about the whole series, and he's such a good writer. All right, 2016 was my last year of law school. I only read 10 books that year, which is funny because I've read like 140 this year. None of them are series. So that's cool. 2015, I read 10 out of 25 again. And that's when I discovered clearly Julia Quinn. And I read the Christopher Paolini series, which there's a new book that just came out, but not interested. 2014 was in law school still, we're working backwards. So I read 20 books that year. I read The Magicians, the very first book. I liked it, but I have no interest in returning to that series. I'd rather just watch the TV show. I read all of Divergent that year. Okay, so I just looked at 2012 and 2013, which was when I discovered Goodreads, and I thought I'd actually discovered it earlier. I read a ton of Nora Roberts books, OG romance author for me, but something I find very interesting is apparently I read Outlander in like 2012. So I haven't even logged Outlander into Goodreads as far as when I was tracking my reading. So I have read the first 3 books of Outlander. I haven't read anything else, but I loved the Outlander series. So that would be a really good one to continue on with. I'm actually really shocked by that. Like, I love that series. I would have assumed I read it when I was like starting my Goodreads. So those are all the series that I have started or are in the middle of and want to move forward with. And I have a few series on my shelf downstairs. So the Black Jewel trilogy, which I talked about starting this year, I have Robert Jordan's series. I have Rebecca Ross's A River Enchanted. She seems to really be working for me, so that would be good. I have The Frozen Crown by Greta something. That's a duology. And I think I have one more. Oh, I have some Cassandra Clare I've never read. So those are some other series like on my radar, but will I get to them? I don't know. Because I do still want to work through rereading Lord of the Rings. I'm on the Two Towers. Emily of New Moon I didn't get to last year. And I've never read the whole Anne of Green Gables series, which is embarrassing because I love like the first 3 books. I just never finished. And I've seen the TV show 9 million times. So like that would be, and it's the PBS, like that version TV show, not the weird one that's on Netflix right now that's like made Anne dark and given it Emily of New Moon vibes, which is not appropriate. So I need to reread those series and read through all the way of Anne of Green Gables. Well, that won't happen in 2024 for sure. That might be a 2025 thing where like I do a read along of all of Anne of Green Gables, if anybody would want to do that. If there's enough people that are interested in that, maybe I would consider doing it this year. Who knows? I can be persuaded. All right. Thank you for watching that video. And until the next one, everybody, bye.